Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out the shame for the championship. Fucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Fucking like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Shout out. All right. Shout out to the fam, man. Appreciate y'all being in the live stream. Appreciate you. Shout out to the fam. Y'all put one in the chat if y'all can hear me, man, on this episode of the Coma. Put one in the chat if y'all can hear me. I want to make sure everything is good. So big ups to the fam. Appreciate each and every last one of y'all for representing for the Coma. Much love to the fam. There you go. Okay, cool. Good to hear y'all. See y'all in the building. Appreciate you, OG, there. Let me go ahead on and share my screen. Shout out to the fam, man. Had a couple of technical difficulties, but we representing, man. We up in this thing, man. So how y'all feeling, man? Y'all talk to me. Let me know how y'all feeling. Yeah, I know it's black, man. I'm having a little technical difficulties, but give me a second. I'm gonna share the screen with you guys, and we'll get going. Y'all put one in the chat if y'all can see that right there so kindly. I know it's triple darkness right now, baby. It's triple darkness, but you should see something right now. So shout out to the fam, man. We're going to go over to the Saints news in terms of what's been happening right now. Y'all put one in the chat. Okay, there we go. Okay, good. All right, y'all can see. All right, so much love to the fam on this episode. All right. Yeah, I know, okay, man. You can't see me. You can only hear me. Yeah, I know. That'll be fine for tonight. So much love to the fam once again. And like I've been saying for some time now, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. Saints midweek moves, a few things the Saints and me. We're going to go over it. Shout out to the fam. Y'all feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button by all means. Feel free to share, baby. You know, sharing is caring. Feel free to share the show on your social media feed as we get going. Straight from the whothatdaily.com. Well, you know, we got writers there. Y'all feel free to go to the whothatdaily.com and share around the articles. Boxing, basketball, football, college football, all that kind of stuff they're covering and we expanding. So breaking down the Saints midweek moves as compiled by Mr. Carpenter. Shout out to him. Who's in, who's out. Saints wins the update. Of course, the black and gold. Get ready for the first Monday night game for them against the Carolina Panthers. I have to work on my brothers at the Panther Nation podcast. Shout out to those brothers. Let's see if I'm going to try to arrange a time, but it might be probably Friday or Saturday. We'll see what's shaking. Probably Friday works better for me, but we'll kind of preview that thing with the Panther Nation podcast that's coming up. Always good to talk to Dave and Rashad, man. Those good people. All right, so anyway, let's get into this one, fam. Saints making a few moves today and a couple of little roster shake-up. Nothing major, you know, except for putting Peyton Turner, who had a toe issue, on the injured reserve. So I know a lot of people are going to kind of tamp down on him and say, man, that dude always hurt. That dude, you know, and I get you on that, man. It's unfortunate. But the positive sign is he got hurt early in the year, which means we should have him later in the year. I don't think this will be something that'll kibosh him for the season. We should get Peyton Turner back, but it's a blessing in disguise because it does give Isaiah Foskey, the snowman, the opportunity to get in there and get some reps as well. He'll be on the back end of the rotation. The good news is Tanu Passanio has been fantastic. He's been doing this thing. Carl Granderson has been wonderful. Carl Granderson looked really good in the first matchup Last week looked terrific. The pressure was constant from the Saints during that time, and that was fantastic. So, we'll get Peyton Turner back. So let's get into this thing right here. Some significant changes, a few small significant changes. He said significant. I don't think they're all that, but Peyton Turner being put on IR for right now is interesting. Wednesday shakeup. The general manager, Mickey Loomis, announced several signings, placements on injury reserve, and contract terminations, reshaping the team's composition for the year. So one notable addition to the active roster, wide receiver Lynn Bowden Jr. has been placed on the active roster. The 6'1", 204-pound receiver showcased his skills during the 23 season, amassing 3 catches for 40 yards. Also provided versatility by contributing on special teams, returning punts for 43 yards and kickoffs for 61 yards. His journey to the Saints began at the end of the season. This is a guy that came over from the Raiders, and he's a third-round pick back in 2020. Now, when they signed Lynn Bowden, y'all remember they signed him and Kiki Coty. They put Kiki Coty in the street and kept Lynn Bowden Jr. He didn't make the first cut and then was placed on the practice squad. Now the Saints bring him in. Now, we did see Rashid Shaheed kick returning last week, and he had some success with it. But, that might be a lot for you to ask for him. But Lynn Bowden Jr. is a guy that has experience there. He can help out there. Not only that, but he's a guy with real good speed. So if you need him to come in and have some speed plays, that helps. But having Lynn Bowden Jr. on the active roster now does help the Saints in terms of their return game, because it kind of keeps Rashid Shaheed to what we seen him do in the game when Derek Carr was looking for him. Told him, "She just go." And Carr got him the damn ball. That's what we want to see all season long. And listen, Olave was fantastic. Chris Olave was fantastic. Mike Thomas did his thing, and Rashid Shaheed tore it up. That's what we want to see all season long. So we don't want to kind of keep him situated to the return game. I'd rather have a guy there that can do that, so he can exclusively focus on playing wide receiver, the third best wide receiver, however the Saints deem to use him. Because remember, they did an end around with him. They use him in different ways. But anyway, that's good news. Another noteworthy signing is defensive end Kyle Phillips, that did some pretty promising things in preseason and in training camp. Remember, he came over from the Jets. The Saints have a couple of them Jets guys, Big Nate Shepard, who came over from the Jets, and Kyle Phillips from the Jets. So the Saints got a few guys they picked up from the Jets, and the Jets, let's be real, they got a hell of a defense, man. Me and my pops, we watched that Monday Night Football game, man, with old man Aaron got tore up after 4 plays. But what's really interesting is that defense really set the bar for them to have success in that Monday night matchup. They were able to get after Josh Allen. They got multiple interceptions off him. They were able to roust him all night, and they kept the game relatively close. The one guy had 3 interceptions. Whitehead had 3 interceptions against Allen. He was totally out of his game. So that defense was terrific. So getting guys from the Jets, man, that's just showing you the Saints know what time it is. But anyway, Kyle Phillips, standing 6'4", 277 pounds, entered the NFL as undrafted free agent back in 2019, hailing from the University of Tennessee. During preseason with the Chiefs, Phillips made some stuff happen there as well throughout his NFL career. 6 to 8 tackles, 2.5 sacks. We are familiar with Kyle Phillips during the season, but having him to the active roster, that is something. Now, they did try out Takk McKinley yesterday. Obviously, they went in a different direction. They said, let's just operate with Kyle Phillips. So they bring Kyle Phillips up from the practice squad to the active roster for him to kind of fill in for Peyton Turner, and he'll be on the back end of the rotation. So you'll see Kyle Phillips in there along with Isaiah Foskey, the Snowman, as those guys will try to kick in and do some positive stuff. So pretty good. All right, outside of that, adding to the defensive depth, the Saints welcome defensive back Fionn Hicks, 7th-round pick by the Broncos in 2022. He's from Florida, made his presence known on special teams in 22, appearing in 2 games. Hicks boosted an impressive college career, had 39 starts out of 44 games for the Badgers. He had over 100 tackles, he had a pick, and 18 pass defense out of college. And then the Saints also picked up a tight end, which was really a surprise. They added this guy to the practice squad, Michael Jacobson, 6'7", 240-pound tight end with some basketball experience that kind of put me in the mind of what Jimmy Graham was, having that basketball skill set, and then you bring him in, and then, is this kind of like a similar Jimmy Graham? He's 6'7", big guy like a Jimmy Graham. I don't know if his skills. I'm watching a little film on Jacobson. Not exactly Jimmy Graham. That's a high standard, but he does have some potential. Very interesting. The Saints reached out and grabbed that guy. Now, the most intriguing of the moves was linebacker Terrell Lewis, who's 6'5", 262-pound athlete. The Saints brought in from the Rams. He was a former third-round pick, 2020. He spent the first few years in the league with the Rams before joining the Bears practice squad in 22. Lewis brings valuable experience, having participated in 30 games, 40 tackles, 6 sacks, a pick, 3 pass defense, and a forced fumble. And, of course, they bring him to the squad. He's on the practice squad. And lastly, linebacker Ty Summers, a 4-year veteran, added to the Saints defense. Summers was initially chosen by the Packers in the 7th round out of the 22 draft, arrived in New Orleans from Jacksonville's practice squad back in week 16 of the 22 season, made an immediate impact with 2 coverage stops. So there you go. And, of course, in addition to these signings, the Saints made some necessary placements on IR. Defensive end Peyton Turner was put on there. Linebacker Ryan Conley find themselves on the injury reserve list. And wide receiver Jontre Kirkland had his practice squad contract terminated, so he's no longer part of the black and gold team. So the Saints making moves, opening up, moving, shaking, smooth, moving guys over here and trying to build that practice squad in a way where they feel like they can have some help there. So Peyton Turner goes to the IR. You know, short term, we expect to see him later on in the season. Kyle Phillips is on the active roster. Lynn Bowden Jr. is there. Ryan Conley goes on the IR. And then we got a whole mass of practice squad players. So I know it get a little confusing, but let's kind of go over that thing. This is straight off from NewOrleansSaints.com. The reserve injured Eno Benjamin, Andrew Dowell, Traquan Smith is on the IR. Peyton Turner, as you can see, was placed on IR, and Big Trey Turner, who's done for the year. So we should see Traquan Smith and Peyton Turner eventually come off that short-term IR after, what is it, about 4 weeks? You'll look at him. Traquan had the injury there. He freed open. So that's the guys right there. The reserve suspended by commissioner list. Of course, AK-41's on the list. He got 2 more games. 2 more games. Carolina and then who's in that? Green Bay, and then he's back for Tampa Bay. So those games are going to fly by. We'll get AK-41 back soon. Jake Hayner got caught doing his thing. He's suspended. Right, you know, he missed his first game. He got 5 more games to go. It was 6 games altogether. He's on the reserve, suspended by the commissioner list. You know, that's from the PED situation. Our practice squad looks like Thusson. You know, you got Jonathan Abrams there. Shaq Davis is there. Jack Heflin. Fionn Hicks was there. Tommy Hudson, which is the big tight end. Michael Jacobson, that's the tight end with basketball skill set from Iowa State. Anthony Johnson, the DB. Tony Jones Jr., who got a little play, reverted back to the practice squad. Tommy Kramer, the offensive lineman. Nico Lalos is there on the practice squad, followed by Terrell Lewis, who was the guy they just added. Jordan Mims, the running back. Storm Norton, the offensive tackle. Anthony Orgy, the big linebacker. The speedster, kind of a big safety linebacker type guy. Jalen Smith, the veteran, is there. And, of course, Ty Summers is on that list. And, of course, the practice squad injury list was where Ryan Conley went. So, as you can see, just to kind of separate them, it looks better when it's when you can see the actual people there. So, anyway, that's what it looks like right now, fam, on our practice squad. And we're not a bad practice squad, man. So, we got a good mix of people there. So, a couple of our guys right now, IR, Traquan Smith, Peyton Turner, we should get those back in a couple of weeks. Anyway, moving forward, fam, as we keep on shaking the bacon, I ain't gonna hold y'all too long at today's show. We're gonna do a lightweight conversation, a game preview on the Carolina Panthers, just talking about them a little bit here. What's intriguing and interesting is that the Carolina Panthers open the season up, right, directly into the NFC South schedule. They lose to Atlanta in week 1, and this is a part of the game. They'll improve every week because the success of the team is based on the rookie quarterback. And that's why I was telling people, no matter how good the guy is in college, you cannot put too much on the shoulders of a rookie. Okay. And that applies to everybody's rookie. Our rookies, hell, we got a rookie punter and a rookie kicker. They did really well in week 1, but it's a long season. So we're going to have patience with these guys. They'll improve every game, hopefully. But you got a guy like Bryce Young, and what he brings is all of the stuff that he has. They have to build chemistry. Look, our offense looked really junky starting the game off. We were really off and on. We were hitting, and they were just really rusty as hell. And I expect to see a better performance, but it's the same thing with Carolina. They open up the season right directly into the NFC South schedule. They got the Saints in week 2. They lost to Atlanta in week 1, and this is big for them because if they lose, they go down 0-2. Not just just for the season, but they open up inside of the division at 0-2, which is a place that they don't want to be in the dumps. So they're going to come out fighting and swinging. And every time we go up to Carolina, it's always a dog fight, cat fight, pun intended. So it's going to be fun watching them, man. And they should have some more weapons back. We'll see if the DJ Chalk plays. We know Adam Thielen had some injuries going on. They didn't look. Their running back situation, they should have that guy there as well, and they'll do what they do. And we just have to do what we do from a defensive and offensive standpoint. Hey, the defense looked like they didn't skip a beat. Looked like the defense looked better to me than what they did last year with the guys in the middle. The pressure was there. And, of course, that's just one game. Let's see how they look moving forward into the season. So, anyway, as we keep going. All right, coming off a tough week versus the Titans, New Orleans Saints prepare to travel to Charlotte to take on the Panthers on Monday Night Football in week 2 of the season. 1-0 Saints seeks a 2-0 start for the first time since 2013 as they kick off the 23 prime time slate. First of 3 national televised games on the docket. This will be the second divisional game in a row for Carolina, a team that lost to Atlanta 24-10 in week 1. Panthers quarterback Bryce Young was 20 of 33 for 146 yards, a touchdown with 2 interceptions. Panthers won the time of possession, and the defense held the Falcons with just 221 yards of total offense. But in the end, they couldn't overcome giving up 17 points off of turnovers. For the Saints, the defense showed up why they wanted the NFL's best. Cornerbacks Laddie Daddy, cornerback Paulson Adebo, safety Marcus May all had interceptions of Ryan Tannehill, his garbage tail. And while all 3 levels of the unit held him to a career-low 28.8 passer rating, linebacker Demario Davis led the team with 10 tackles. He was balling, while defensive end Carl Granderson had a sack and a half in the game, doing his thing for 4 stops. Offensively, Derek Carr was solid, throwing for 305, including a 41-yard strike to Rashid Shaheed, who had a career high of 216 all-purpose yards with under 2 minutes left. Chris Olave, Mike Thomas were also a handful full for Tennessee. Olave finished with 8 catches for 112, including a team-long 45-yard grab, while Thomas hauled in 5 passes for 61 yards. A lot of people kind of blew away by what Chris Olave did and what Rashid Shaheed did, but it was just positive having Mike Thomas there. I mean, this is a super talented combination of wide receivers we have. When you have a guy like Michael Thomas, you got a guy like Chris Olave, you got a guy like Rashid Shaheed. These are very talented wide receivers for us. Michael Thomas is healthy, and it's good to see Michael Thomas there. And that means that, let me just say this. You got all these guys here, and what it means is they can't double one guy consistently. They ain't going to double Michael Thomas. You can't guard Michael Thomas with one dude. He's just too good with his route running. He's physical. He knows the field too well. And he will find places or holes in zones and areas on the field where he's going to present himself to Derek Carr and make the catch. He's just too damn good. You got Rashid Shaheed rolling around here. He'll take the top off from the slot position or wherever they chose to put him at. And then Chris Olave doing all the stuff that he's been doing. Chris Olave put on a clinic out there against the Tennessee Titans secondary. The guy was out there toe dragging and every damn thing, all along the sideline, toe dragging, catching the ball, running upfield. He got banged up, left, went off the field, came back off, and still started tearing them up some more. So, I mean, the wide receivers we have are absolutely fantastic. I love the fact that Michael Thomas is back in that mixture. It only makes everybody better because you can't double everybody consistent. It's pick your poison time, you dig? So this is going to be fun. All right, anyway. All right, more from the Panthers in week 1. You see the snaps versus Falcons. We ain't going to get all into that. But around the NFC South in week 2, the Bucs did their thing. They host the Bears in Raymond James. We're not really caring about Atlanta, who got Green Bay coming up with. Perhaps we'll look at the Green Bay game because we got to scout the Green Bay game. We're looking at the Green Bay contest because we got Green Bay after we get rid of Carolina. We got to take on them their Packers. We got to pack and ship them Packers up out of here. So we might have to scout that game coming up. And I know that would be a matchup on Sunday. Now, just to throw this in your ear, fam. Starting tomorrow, I know this is I was supposed to put an advertisement out for it right now, but since we here, let me just give y'all the game right now. That starting tomorrow, I think Thursday Night Football, I don't know who the hell playing, but we'll figure it out. That I'm gonna be on there. I'm gonna be on there. We're gonna be doing the little Thursday nights and the Sunday nights and the Monday night games. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be doing that coming into this new year. It's just something I'm beta testing, and we'll see how it goes. So it's just more time with the family, having fun, looking at other people's squad, enjoying some football, stuff like that. So the Thursday night games, the Monday night games, we're gonna be doing that outside of me just doing my regular commentary on our Saints stuff. We're gonna be doing a few other things just to throw that out there. So I'll just spring up tomorrow. Like, well, what the hell Q doing up here? Well, now you know. So anyway, Panthers versus Saints series history. The regular season series is tied at 28-28. That's interesting. It's tied at 28 all. So the winner takes the series, and that's pretty interesting. Saints beating the Panthers in the 2017 NFC South wildcard game gives them a 29-28 edge overall. Now, the clubs were in the NFC West from 95 to 01, and then the rivalry continued in the NFC South since it was formed in 02 divisional realignment. Now, the clubs are deadlocked 14 all in both home and road contests. That's strange as hell. You get that, family? That's why I like to go over these statistics, because they really interesting. The regular season series between both clubs are tied at 28-28. That just goes to show you how competitive these two franchises have been over the years. There is no rivalry. Remember, we don't have a rivalry with the Carolina Panthers. We only have two rivalries, in my opinion. If you want maybe three, and y'all guys tell me it may be four from historical standpoint, in no particular order. Well, then again, maybe in an order. Atlanta is clearly the top rival right there. You know, that people turn on the game, whether these teams could be winless, and people go still watch that game. The Saints, when Atlanta plays, just too much going on there. And then, of course, the Saints and the Cowboys. You talking about going east, it's Atlanta. You going west, it's the Dallas Cowboys. That's a big rivalry. The Saints and the Cowboys always is must-see TV. It's always good games. Old school Saints and Niners. That's another lightweight rival, even though the Niners in the NFC West now. And we see them every few years or so. But that's a historical rival from the days of that old NFC West when we used to battle the 49ers with Joe Montana and Jerry Rice, John Taylor, Brent Jones, Roger Craig, and then even when they became Steve Young, Ricky Waters, and all those boys, we would battle them then. So into the later renditions. But, and then, of course, you look, I guess the other matchup would be the Minnesota Vikings. I don't know if I call that a rival. We just don't like the Vikings. And they got some stuff that they could talk about, like, oh man, the Saints was hitting below. They tore up old man Brett Favre, and he was hitting below the legs. And I remember them guys from the Minnesota podcast we have on, and they was throwing that at us. So there's stuff on both sides of this stuff. But anyway, they were saying, what about Bountygate? I'm like, man, dude, you did your research? That that all that was thrown out, but I did shows on that. But most people don't know. They just go with what they was told. They ain't gonna do any deep research into it because that's your stuff. Why should they? That's why it's up to us to educate them. But anyway, back to the Panthers matchup, 28-28. That is very intriguing and interesting. So whoever wins the matchup, on Monday night gets to take the series, and of course we got the final game. That we'll see them later on in the year. So that's very interesting. That just goes to show you that, and even the interesting part is 28-28, the regular season series, and the clubs are 14-14 in both home games and road contests. So out of the 28 games, right, the 28 games, they're 14-14 in both home and road contests. You can't get any closer than that. So it ain't like one-way domination. So that just goes to show you that we gotta bring our running game to Carolina. That's always a sticking point. We got to bring the running game to Carolina, and we got to test them regardless. Now, we'll see if we get Kendre Miller back. That'll help us out big time to have him there with Jamal Williams and helping out there. Also, our wide receivers are respectable, beyond respectable. We'll have them. Taysom Hill, maybe they operate, giving some more of the Taysom Hill package. The run ain't no passing plays with Taysom Hill. It's just straight. He becomes a running back, it's like a direct snap. That's what the guy gets back there, he don't look to throw it, even though it's alignment where it's supposed to be a passing play. And I was looking at it, say it looks like a passing play, but all it is, it's not no RPO. The philosophy of RPO says it's supposed to be passing there somewhere. Taysom Hill comes out there, it's a direct damn snap. It's a direct snap to a running back. Now, he's called the quarterback, but that's only politically and litigiously speaking, so he can move around however they want him. But the guy's a goddamn running back. The majority of his yards come from him as a running back. You see, he's a running quarterback. He don't throw the ball. How you a quarterback? You know? And it's not no disrespect to Taysom, but this is his best trait. He is a guy that has phenomenal athleticism, and he'll take off on you. He just don't have the patience to go through progressions and throw the ball where it belongs. He just takes the hell off. And hey, man, if it works, it works. He gave us a mini spark in the second half because we wasn't doing nothing against that front. But anyway, let's keep it moving. 14-14 in both home and road contests. And in 56 season games in the series, 28 have been decided by 8 points or less, and each team winning 14. The Saints' longest winning streak was a 5-game stretch from 2000 to 02, when we just dominated them. Y'all remember the fun year when the Saints not only swept the Carolina Panthers in the regular season, but also beat them in the playoffs, beat them 3 times in 1 year. Beat them 3. And listen, I want to say that was the final year. I think, didn't Carolina, they won it like back to back or something like that. Y'all remind me. And then what occurred was after they lost it, they destroyed the whole team. I remember when the Saints swept them for the season. They beat them both times in the regular season and then beat them in the playoffs. They some kind of way made the playoffs, and we beat them in the playoffs. They fired Ryan Riviera. They just tore the team up after the Saints just tore them apart. It's like, man, how we get beat by the Saints 3 times in 1 year? And I want to say that was the last year Carolina won it. Y'all remind me in the check. Because I want to say that was the last time. Then we went on a run of the division. We just demoralized them. We went on a run, and we run it I don't know how many times in a row. But anyway, throw that little extra stuff at the Carolina people. All right, so in 56 regular season games between the Saints and the Panthers, there have been 1,221 points scored by the Saints, 1,196 allowed. 5-game New Orleans winning streak from 2000 to 02. We got to bring that back. A 4-game New Orleans winning streak in games played at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome from 98 to 2001, a 4-game winning streak at contests played at Bank of America Stadium from 2017 to 20. The Saints will try to break a 2-game losing streak at the Bank of America Stadium on Monday night. 27 games decided by double digits, 7 games decided by 21 or more points, 28 games decided by 8 points or less, and 132-point win by New Orleans in 2020's regular season finale, and a 32-point loss by New Orleans. So it goes to show you that the Carolina Panthers are not a pushover team, that it's a team that has a lot of skill, even though they're a young team with the quarterback Bryce Young at the top. They have a lot of talent situated around the man, but it's going to take some time. That's what I was saying. The guy is a different world. Kadeem Hardison around this, Lisa Bonet around this joint, Jasmine Guy around this joint, Mr. Gaines around this joint. You know what I'm saying? You know, what's her name? The one that used to Jaleesa around this joint. You know what I'm saying? It's a different world. So what happens is you got to look at how Bryce Young, he'll have to acclimate to the speed of the NFL game, all these different coverages that they'll be throwing, the blitz packages. And let's be real, the Carolina Panthers just suffered a massive injury to the offensive line. So you couple that with the fact that they already had problems defending the pass during the preseason. They did better in the first week matchup, but you got a starting offensive lineman that goes down, and you got a rookie quarterback in there. That you might as well go to the stove, right? Get you some oil, right? Some cooking oil. Get you some wings, right? Take the wing, clean the wings first, right? Take them and dip them in the oil, right? Get you the biggest ass Zatarans or slap your mama you can find, and take Bryce Young, take them and prepare them and dip them in that same oil, sprinkle some seasoning salt on them, and salt and pepper them. Put some smack your mama and some Zatarans on them, and then dip them down in the air fryer, and then it's time to eat some chicken, because that's what's gonna happen. Carl Granderson, Cam Jordan, and all these people, they're gonna be feasting on this rookie kid, man. He'll look better in the second matchup, but we gonna be feasting on this guy. So they're gonna do everything they can to kind of protect the man. And the Saints defense, first game, and I know it's just one game, but that defense, my goodness, multiple turnovers, multiple sacks. They were just getting after the quarterback, getting after and making things pop. And I'm thinking the Saints definitely will have a better performance offensively speaking. From that offensive line, we gonna run the ball better, because you damn sure can't run it worse than what you did in the first week. You're gonna have more consistency, because you damn sure can't do worse than what you exhibited in week 1. So whatever we seen in week 1, the Saints will improve, because they basically, even though the offense was up and down and in and around and just the model of rusty inconsistency, you got to look at the way they gutted that win out. When Carr went to Ronald Curry, the passing game coordinator. He went to Pete Carmichael, the offensive coordinator, say, man, let me do this. Look, we're going to do this. Can I do this? Can I do it? And then Rashid, just go. Just go. And then there he goes. He throws the ball down there, kind of helps sets up the win. So they gutted out a win. And I expect them to take that and improve upon that, because it gives them something to work with. It really does, especially Trevor Penning and James Hurst. The left side of the line first half was disastrous. Them guys are way better than that. We know that. We know they're better than that. And this is the type of game where Trevor Penning right now, we having this show right now, Trevor Penning down there in the building right now, dropping back and pretending he going against pass rushes. Because let me tell you something. You don't think the Carolina Panthers looked at with Arden Key. The last time I seen Arden Key play like that, he was at LSU. He damn sure didn't have that type of game, when he, maybe 1 or 2 games. I don't even remember him balling out like that. Just eating and feasting off the guy like that. Just killing him out there, noticeably. They got one over. His name is Brian Burns. He way better than Key. And Burns, you best believe that Carolina going to look at Penning, and they're going to be saying, hey, you talking about dipping our quarterback in seasoning and season oil and vegetable oil and dropping them in the air fryer? We looking at your left tackle, and he looking pretty. He looking like a big turkey over there. We about to take him and hit him with the Cajun injector and throw him in the oven. And he looking real. He looking real turkey-like over there. And Brian Burns is going to apply the heat. Did you get that little heat reference? Anyway, let me stop making y'all hungry over here. But anyway, my bottom line is the Saints defense will feast on the rookie, and they'll be looking at your left tackle saying that guy gave all that up to Arden Key. He played better in the second half, but we got Brian Burns, and we're going to be sending him at him all day. Well, that's fine. Come on, because Penning will play better. He will play better. Those guys will step up and they'll play better. All right, back to this. The last meeting, Panthers 10-7 over the Saints back in January 8th of 2023. Remember, we finished the season with them. It looked like the season finale might be an easy one for the Saints as they quickly scored on the opening possession when quarterback Andy Dalton hit Chris Olave for 25 yards. But it was a touchdown. But the 3 promising drives in the first half didn't lead to any points to keep Carolina in the game. The Panthers tied the score at 7 in the third. And when Sam Darnold's fumble in his zone was recovered by a teammate for a touchdown, the Saints had a chance to win when Daniel Sorensen, remember him, intercepted Darnold's pass with $1:36 to play and returned the ball to Carolina's 35. But the offense went nowhere. Lutz hit the 55-yard attempt. It was partially blocked. Well, he tried to kick it. It was partially blocked, and it was Lutz's second miss of the game. So, anyway, they lost the game 10-7, but we were supposed to win that game. Remember, and then last year, there were several games we were supposed to win, but it was it was so awful last year, offensively speaking, watching them. It was so awful. It was so bad. I'm just glad it's a new year. But anyway, in Panthers versus Saints series, fast facts. Largest margin of victory, 32 points. Saints won 42-10 back in 12/28 of 19 at the Bank of America. Large margin of victory, 32 points, Panthers. So you can see it goes back and go fourth current series streak, 2-game winning streak for Carolina. And that's from 9/25 of 22 to the present. So they won both games last year. Saints should have won both those games. They had possession of the games, flittered it away. But now we have to get back on this thing. And I think the Saints will beat the Carolina Panthers in the matchup. No disrespect to Carolina. I just think that when you got a rookie quarterback, no matter how good he is, the guy got to learn. And the Saints are going to really get after him. They're going to really get after him. They're going to really get after him. You know, Cam and Granderson, and they're going to fire off and they're going to get after him. They're going to show him some stuff that he never seen before. You know, we got, and I'm hoping, and you see Tanu Passanio and all these guys, we'll see some Isaiah Foskey, the snowman, in there. And his athleticism, perhaps he'll do a little stuff. And I expect to see a lot of them, but you might see him for a few reps in there. He come in there and do a few things for you. But I just love what the Saints defense do. They playing fast and furious. It's like they haven't skipped a beat from in terms of the mentality of how they play. The interior defensive line looked really good. You know, Brian Bresee did his thing. You know, so this is going to be cool to watch what happens here. But the big test, like we had the Derrick Henry test of week 1, which the Saints won that obviously because Tennessee was just dumb. Let's just say that. And the Tennessee Titans people should be upset with their team because it was just a dumb philosophy. I was saying it during the play-by-play in the watch part. I was like, they're going to lose this game because of the dumb play decision-making and the poor moves that the supposed brains, the brain trust, or whoever they were, was doing. And it didn't take Mama Teresa or anybody with vision to be able to look at and see that Tannehill didn't have it. And you should have rolled the hot hand in the first half, which was Derrick Henry, because the Saints really had problems stopping him early on. And then when the second half came, he didn't have the same mojo. Matter of fact, Demario Jackson bust his ass on one of them plays, and I think that got his wake-up call. He bullied them on that one. He was trying to get around and try to set up a block, and Demario Davis flattened him. You know, he flattened Derrick Henry, blew him up. And I was like, yeah. And then when that happened, that just knocked all the heart out of him, man. They couldn't do it. But anyway, in this matchup with the Carolina Panthers, man, they got a lot of weapons and stuff that we need to pay attention to. Now, this is just a lightweight look into the game. We'll go over it more intricate and detailed on more than likely on the Friday stream when I bring the PNP camp in and have them to talk about their squad. We'll go over all that kind of old stuff and break it down. All right, so anyway, with that being said, fam, we recapping things, breaking down the Saints moves midweek. We talked about the acquisition, some of the guys, Lynn Bowden Jr. And Kyle, Kyle Phillips, the defensive end, former Jet, being added to the active roster. They're on the active roster, and several people being added to the practice squad. Of course, we talked about Peyton Turner being put on the IR. We also talked about the linebacker Ryan Conley being placed on the practice squad IR, and then of course the additions to several new players to our practice squad, including the likes of Fayon Hicks, a 5'10", 192-pound defensive back out of Wisconsin, Michael Jacobson, 6'7", 244-pound former college basketball player who played football as that college basketball Jimmy Graham set that Jimmy made really popular. We also know that they had Terrell Lewis, the linebacker, 6'5", 260-plus pound guy from the University of Alabama, to the practice squad as well. So they got a few guys they put there, and then Ty Summers is there on the practice squad as well. So not bad at all for the black and gold going into this thing as we keep it moving and grooving, and of course a light little touch on the Carolina Panthers matchup. So anyway, with that being said, listen, fam, listen. We're going to pop back up here Thursday. Tomorrow is Thursday. That's Who Dat Nation United Thursday. You get all the family members. They'll be there in the building as well. Tomorrow's Thursday game. Y'all let me know who playing Thursday. I don't know who the hell playing Thursday. I forgot who it was. Y'all put it in the chat, but I'm probably going to be doing a live play-by-play on that night, but more than likely it'll be on the TSC Unleashed channel. So if y'all want, because I don't want to be on that broadcasting, and that's for the brothers. That's for the Who Dat Nation United. My boy Teal and the Honola Bros and Hoodie, and of course my boy Randolph over there at the Keeping It Real Who Dat podcast. They'll be representing on Foy's Day to you guys as well. So I'll probably be broadcasting the play-by-play for the Thursday night game on TSC Unleashed. Y'all let me know. We'll see how that all works out. But anyway, with that being said, I'm getting ready to get out on that. Listen, y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, man. And I'm going to holler at y'all on the flip side. Much love to the fam. We out of this piece. Much love. I'm out.
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that at. Where we do that at. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that at. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Walking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Running like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that at. Where we do that at. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that at. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.